So at this stage, the facts are very light at the moment. We don't know exactly what did cause it. What we do know is there has been a catastrophic incident. It's been caused by either a squall or a water spout. But again, at this stage, and given the fact that this happened at night, the facts are very light on exactly what has gone on.
What might have affected the vessel's ability to speed out of harm's way?
So the key thing here is the identification. If it was a water spout, we were not able to see at night time a water spout approaching, and even using the likes of marine radar, it is really hard to decipher exactly what is approaching. That combined with the fact that the vessel was at anchor, it would take time to recover anchor and to proceed away from this. But in all honesty, that the lack of warning meant that in reality there was nothing that the crew could really do to prepare themselves if it was indeed a water spout.
How common are water spouts in this particular area, and is it unusual to have affected a yacht like this?
Yeah, so the reports are that off Sicily there's approximately 30 water spouts a year. But again, they are rare. They're not an everyday occurrence. We say, we're looking at a couple of months potentially. But to actually have an interaction with a vessel like this that has caused this multi-million pound state-of-the-art luxury yacht to sink with such high loss of life is incredibly rare. This is the first that I know of in my career. And this then raises the questions about whether this is indeed something known as a black swan event, that every industry struggles with this high impact, low probability, and what do we do to actually prepare for these events? And is it financially viable and practical to really prepare for these things that probably will never happen again?
Tell us a bit more about the yacht, and it also had a very experienced crew on board as well.
Yes, so this yacht had, I believe, the second largest mast of any sailing vessel in the world at 72 meters. In regards to super yacht size, it's not relatively large. It's 58 meters. We now regularly see super yachts over 100 meters. But for a sailing vessel super yacht, it is quite large. It was certified by the UK Maritime Coast Guard Agency to be operated as a commercial kind of vessel, which is normal for the size and the type of operation it was doing. Which tells me, that the safety element would have been there. The vessel would have met all the international maritime regulations for stability, construction, and safety. And there's no evidence to prove that they weren't complying with anything like that, which now we know the investigation teams are going to be looking into exactly what has gone so terribly wrong to cause this loss of life. And of course, our thoughts and condolences go out to the families and the peoples affected by this, but also the rescue teams who have been working in such arduous conditions to try and recover people and bring loved ones back home.
Indeed, condolences being sent out to the families of those who are missing, and one still missing, and those bodies recovered as well. Tell us, how challenging has it been for divers to reach the sunken yacht and search for the missing?
Yes, it has been challenging, despite the fact that it's in the Mediterranean. The water clarity is good. At those depths of 50 meters, they're really at the limits of their equipment and their training that the team that is being used is currently doing. Down at those depths, you tend to get a lot cooler temperatures. The visibility from the surface is very low, so they are having to use lights and torches to orify themselves, find their way around. The key thing here are the hazards that are located within the vessel. We have a lot of loose furniture and debris, and that can cause significant risk and hazards to those crews. So they've been using remotely operated vehicles to explore certain areas of the vessel to try and find safe passages in to obviously recover the casualties from there. But these have been really difficult and challenging times for them, not only from that sense, but also from the international pressure then obviously that is being put on the rescuers to try and recover these people.
What will investigators be looking for specifically when they examine the sunken yacht?
So they'll be looking at everything from the days, the weeks, and the months prior to the incident, what actually happened during the incident, and then the post-incident phase. So they'll be assessing all the evidence that they can find, taking eyewitness accounts, accounts from the survivors, and also inspecting the vessel there. For me, there's two well, three key elements that we want to be looking at. We want to look at what weather event occurred. Was it a water spout or was it a very powerful squall? Was the vessel's keel, which is a very heavy weight that suspends below the vessel, which is used for stability, was that deployed or was that retracted? Because if that was retracted, that would impact on the vessel's ability to stay upright. And the third thing that we'd be looking at is the sort of watertight integrity of the vessel. Were there any watertight doors or hatches left open? And if so, why did that happen? But at this moment in time, we really don't have any evidence to indicate any of that at present.
And you did mention they will be speaking to survivors. The ship sank just before 5 a.m. in the morning and 15 people were pulled from the water then. What was the likely experience of these survivors? What do you think they've been through with a storm like this?
I think it would have been terrifying, to be woken from your sleep and to find yourself in cold water. It's not the warmest time of year for the water. It is warmer than what we'd have around Northwest Europe, but to find yourself in cold water in the middle of the night in darkness is terrifying. And read the story of one survivor trying to keep her 1-year-old baby above the water. It is harrowing, and it brings me on to a very important topic, which is the long-lasting effects of this, not only on the survivors from a mental health perspective, but also the rescuers. It's really important that they all receive the support that they need so that they're able to keep themselves going and to ultimately continue to live what normal life they can have.
Matthew Schanck, really good to talk to you tonight. Thank you so much for shedding light on this story.
Thank you.